Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the United States Constitution is quite clear. It grants Congress the power to exercise exclusive jurisdiction over the federal district, which all Americans know now is Washington, D.C., and it is the nation's capital. That is in the Constitution that was ratified by the several states. Congress does have the constitutional authority to regulate activities within the federal district. So when it is said that somehow Congress is now eroding local control, that is simply not true. Any local powers by the D.C. City Council have been granted to the D.C. City Council by Congress. And Congress is the seat of authority when it comes to the federal enclave. It was also talked about Florida's laws. Well, let's be very clear. Florida has established itself as a beacon of law and order and making sure that our citizens are safe throughout all of our jurisdictions. So if there are some abilities for some measures of flexibility, Florida has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it knows how to keep its people safe. Very different with respect to the D.C. City Council and with respect to escalated crime here in the nation's capital. Our great nation's capital has been plagued by violence, destruction, disorder for far too long, and decades of weak pro-crime leadership has turned this once great city into a dystopia. I would remind my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that some of their colleagues have been victimized by the crime here in Washington, D.C. Rather than prioritizing the safety of law-abiding and protecting the lives of innocent residents and visitors, district officials have actively facilitated dysfunction and chaos through their progressive soft-on-crime policies. Instead of addressing the clear epidemic of youth crime in the city, the D.C. City Council increased the age of youth offenders to individuals 24 years old and younger, meaning fully grown legal adults in the District of Columbia can receive sentences meant for children. This is simply insane. And that is why I introduced the D.C. Crimes Act, which lowers the definition of youth from under the age of 25 to under the age of 18, removes the ability of judges to sentence youth offenders below mandatory minimum guidelines, and requires the D.C. Attorney General to establish a public website containing much-needed statistics on juvenile crime in D.C. The Trump administration's efforts have shown that lawlessness is a choice. And it is time for Congress to step up, adhere to our constitutional duty, and firmly address crime in the nation's capital.